Hi, boys and girls. Welcome to Sunday School this week. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving and were able to enjoy a good meal, maybe some good company, and remember all that we have to be thankful for. I don't know, what's your favorite part of Thanksgiving? Is it the turkey? Is it the pies? Let me know what your favorite food is at Thanksgiving. Getting together with those that you love the most, whether it was small this year, maybe different, still sharing good food and good company, good laughs, lots of food, maybe even getting a little more sugar than we usually do, is always a blessing. Now we start the season of Advent, which is the waiting as we prepare for the birth of Jesus. And normally in Sunday school, we would be learning way in a manger, going over Go Tell It on the Mountain, as we would get to go and start preparing to do this big play for our church family, which is still kind of in the works, just maybe a little modified. But last week, Pastor Randy started the Advent season with the candle of hope. What comes to mind when you hear the word hope? Maybe things you wish for. You hope that you maybe get to stay in school if you're right now in school and hope you don't have to do distance learning, or maybe you're at distance learning hoping you get to go back to school. Because even now, I've heard a lot of kids want to be in school, in the building with their friends. Hope for that. Hope for some normalcy. Hope for health, so our friends and our family stay healthy. And last week, Pastor Randy had Lida light the candle and read a scripture verse, which you did a very good job, Lida. And during the children's message, he had 2 balloons, blue balloons, the helium, and he had them in his hands. And when he released both of those balloons at the same time, and Lida was sitting right there, so she can verify too. If you get a chance to watch it, check out the YouTube video or the Facebook page if your parents have it. It was pretty cool. But when he released both of those balloons, one went up and it kept floating and it kept going and it kept going and it kept going. And then it got a little close to the fan. Well, maybe it wasn't that close, but it looked close, and it went all the way to the ceiling. And it's still there today. And you know what Pastor Randy reminded us? Everybody watched as the balloon went up, watched as it journeyed up towards the Lord, watched that balloon and didn't even notice that the one had fallen. Because we have to have hope in God and all the plans that He has for us. No matter how crazy it is right now, it's important to have hope. Hope and trust in the Lord and all that He is doing for us. How many of you know what came to mind when he was talking about how everybody looked up? When you sit by a campfire, whether it's light out or dark, do you normally stare at the ground? No, not usually. I mean, there's probably a lot going on with some, but I just think there's some things down there that, you know what? I don't want to know what kind of animals are crawling around my feet. I don't want to know what's all down on the ground. You take in the fire and the beauty and how it changes at every moment. You enjoy the peace and the quiet. And you look up to the sky, even during the day, and you watch the clouds move. You see the jets go. And at night, you see the bright stars. And sometimes a jet flies by, or sometimes clouds just come over. You're always looking up and having hope and taking in the moment and the wonder and the beauty of everything around you. Where, to me, looking at the ground, I would see the not so pleasant things. And I want to believe that there's hope and good. And I need to remember that, especially now. Another thing that came to mind was How many of you have ever taken a basketball and coaches will a lot of times tell their player, keep your head up, keep your head up. And I'm a coach, and I've also been a player where my coaches have said that. Because otherwise we stare at the ball and we don't see what's coming. You don't see the hoop that you're trying to get the basket in. You're focused on just in this space where you're dribbling the basketball. And the reason they want you to have your head up is that ball's going to come up to your hand, whether you're looking at it or not. It's going to. When you dribble the ball, it's going to go down and come back up. Grab any ball and try it. Try to dribble it. Yes, sometimes it takes a little practice though. Can't always just go off and be pros. Like, it takes practice every day. But eventually that ball will come and you'll be able to dribble anywhere without looking. And you have your eyes up and you can see the hoop. Then you can see the chance for a shot, a chance for something. But when you keep your head down, you don't always see the opportunities and the beauty and wonder right in front of you. This week is the candle of love. Love, God loves us so much, boys and girls. And I know we talk about this all the time, but that's because God's love is so amazing. And he wants us to share that love with others. He wants us to share hope with others. Share love with others. Give hope to those that don't necessarily have it. Love to those that don't necessarily feel loved. Or maybe we don't think need to be loved, but really do. He says, love your neighbor as yourself. Your neighbor is everybody. Your neighbor is everybody. Now at your homes, maybe some of you have started to decorate for Christmas. And some of you, I know at our house, we have a lot of projects from Sunday school. We have projects from school. We have a couple of our girls go to the Christian school in Mobasso, so we have a lot of different beautiful projects of sheet music, of Silent Night, so many things. And I'm going to be honest, my husband doesn't always like a lot of the Christmas stuff coming up. And this year was different. So normally, maybe some of you get a Christmas tree, and maybe some of you put some of the ornaments that you've gotten from Sunday school or from family that mean a lot to you. And this year, and you hang them on your tree. Well, I wanted you to be able to see the lights on the tree and see that our tree just has lights right now. Just has lights. One, because we got the opportunity to do a live tree. How many of you have a live tree, a real tree? We never have. So this was our first time because we were blessed enough to win a tree from Iverson Tree Farm. So all 6 of us went down with the tree, or to go pick out the tree. And my husband brought along one of those power saws that you just push the button and maybe heard Pastor Randy talk about when we cut down our tree. I didn't get to use the power saw, but we went down there and they give you an old-fashioned hand saw. And at first, my husband was like, we'll just use my saw. And I said, nope, no way. There are 6 of us. We are going to use the saw. So here we go out to look at trees. We don't ask questions. They say, just cut down one that speaks to you. So we went and found one. And all 6 of us, even Layton, who was 4, Ayla laid on her belly and was covered in mud from sawing. Peyton, Jocelyn, my husband Rick, and I, we all cut this tree. Now, there was lots of laughs. There was lots of going around the tree trying to find how we could get it cut because we were not making progress. The tree was not going anywhere. But there was so many laughs. And it took us about 20 minutes at least to cut it down because we let everybody had to take a chance. Everybody had to take a turn. And my husband kept joking, it would be a lot faster if we just used my chainsaw. Well, everybody else was doing the old-fashioned way. You can't blare up this chainsaw, oh my goodness. And so, but eventually it was at the point where my husband's like, if someone else could just push on it. And so we pushed on it, and we got the tree. Well, after we got the tree, we just picked what we thought was gonna work for us. Well, afterwards, we found out we picked a little bit of a prickly tree. It's a beautiful tree. Our daughter Ayla had some white spots from the needles, and we asked the guy about it, and he chuckled. He's like, that's one of our most beautiful trees, but it's the prickliest, and it doesn't matter who touches it. Everybody usually gets the white spots. And we laughed because we didn't know. But in that moment, we were so excited to make this memory, because if we would have had the chainsaw, that moment that God gave us together as a family of 6, out in his beautiful world, out in the beautiful river bottom, would have been over in a minute. And instead, we got to laugh and talk about how we were going to decorate this tree, and then afterwards be able to, we live out in the country on a farm with a lot of animals, be able to take that tree and reuse it somewhere else. But so we got to enjoy that moment, and that's what God wants us to do, is enjoy the beautiful wonders that he has given us, the beautiful moments that he gives us. After that, we rode in a wagon and went for a horse ride, because Leighton wanted a horse ride. And we learned about all the different trees. And even though ours is a little prickly, when we got it home, I had to wear gloves to get the lights on. It was perfect. And it's beautiful. And then when you add the lights, which we've been talking about how God is the light. He's our lighthouse. When I love Christmas, but I love the feeling that it gets. Like if you were to look at my house right now, each of my daughters has a tree filled with beautiful ornaments that they have made and memories, all good, but they remind us. It makes me, especially this year, think of our church family. When the church is decorated for Christmas, when we get to go in there. And right now, each of our girls has a tree. I've actually Rick has let me put up quite a bit of stuff. And this tree, I will share with you next week, because we're hoping to get it done, finish it. What we decided right away, we knew that we wanted to fill it with pictures. And pictures from during this crazy time. And at first the kids were like, oh, but we were in lockdown, we were in quarantine. Like, what kind of pictures are we going to find? And you know why this tree still has been set up, but we don't have any of the pictures on there? It's pictures of our memories. Just stuff that we've done around our house. Stuff that we camp, so stuff outside. It's just simple things. It's not big, extravagant things. It's just having hope and love in the best way that we can during this time, and remembering that Jesus, our light, is at the center of it. But we had all these, we were going to, each of my girls, we were all going to pick pictures. Well, I don't know about your guys' moms, but I kind of like to take pictures. I think Pastor Randy does too. But on my phone, I have a lot of pictures. And so we started looking, and honestly, we have so many to pick from. We're having a hard time just picking a few so that our tree, you can still see the beauty of it. And that, to me, gives me hope that no matter how crazy it is right now, that we are going to, I have to believe in God, that we are going to come out stronger. stronger as a church family, as a family ourselves. And so when I see all my Christmas stuff, it gives me the hope, the love, the peace, and the joy of Jesus, and reminds me every day that's what the season's for. Yes, at some point there maybe be presents under the tree, maybe not, because the memories and the light of the trees, the ornaments from past Sunday schools, from even when I was younger, give us that constant love and reminder of what this season is truly about. And I hope that you feel that love from me, from our church family, from school, from friends, from teachers, from people you maybe just see on your block, and that you can share that hope and love with others, and that you get to experience that as we prepare for this Advent season, because it is my favorite time of the year, preparing this, and now more than ever, I want to share that with you since we can't be in person, because I love that time of year. So I hope you are able to enjoy the music and that we share for you, and I hope you get to experience love and hope, not just this week, not just until the end of the year, until the end of this craziness, but that you are moved when you sit by a fire at the wonder and how powerful it is, and how we have the ability to share that hope and love that we get from Jesus every single day and share it with others. So if you get a chance, boys and girls, Pastor Randy, I know maybe you've seen in our church, there's always the Advent wreath with the candles. And then this year he had the four daughters do like a real Advent. So this week I want you to think about what Advent means to you. When you hear those four words, hope, love, peace, joy, what comes to mind? And try to be that hope, peace, joy, love for others, and let others be for you. Never lose hope. That balloon, Pastor Randy's going to keep giving us updates on how long it stays in the top of the church. But when you are having a bad day, or just kind of think about the beautiful stars in the sky, and remind yourself that God is our light and love. Don't get caught thinking about the creepy crawly critters at the bottom of the ground. God gives us hope. His love gives us hope. Remember that as we go forward. So this week, think of the Advent wreath. And I want you to come up with an Advent wreath at home. You can make your own. You can use a plate with just purple paper. You can either do blue candles. Our church used to have purple. Now we have blue. Make your candles. However, whatever speaks to you when you think of it. And remind yourself this Advent season of how you experience hope and joy and love and peace, and how you've shared it with others. See if you can find ways to do that, to share it with others in a safe way. But especially now, since we can't get together in person, let's see if we can spread that love and joy to others as much as we can. So I hope you have a great week, and know that I am thinking about you each day, and hoping and loving the idea that someday we will be able to be back in Sunday school together. And who knows, maybe we'll have a fun Christmas pageant in July. Who knows? Because this is the season, but you know what? We should be celebrating that all the time. So I hope you've enjoyed, And maybe next week, we'll see if we can get our memories up there, that the memories that will give our family hope and remind us of the love, all of the love that we have been blessed with. And when we look at the pictures, we remember that God has blessed us with so much, even in a crazy time. I miss you all very, very much. And I look forward to when we can be in person again. If you need anything, I am always here for you. Always here for you. So take care. Have a fabulous week. See you next time. Bye.